If you enjoy being swept away by waves of emotions, this list contains different types of sad mangas that will leave you with a lump in your throat and very watery eyes. My Girl explores the themes of grief, family, and parenthood through the eyes of 23-year-old Masamune Kazama and that of a daughter he did not know he had. One day, his mundane life is turned upside down as he suddenly finds himself navigating newfound responsibilities, sorrows, and the insecurities and fears that comes with being a single father. The complexities of everyday life with his daughter are illustrated in an array of emotionally sour and sweet scenes and situations tinted with a potent dramatic execution. In his struggle to grow as a parent, son, and individual, Masamune will need to understand what gives him fulfillment and happiness in life, what makes it worth living, and how to act around the people he loves without hurting or isolating himself from them. First of all, don't be put off by the weird character design of our protagonist, as it's all part of the author's psychological deconstruction of the character. Oyasumi Punpun is a convoluted tale of a shy and quiet boy who, as he manages to get through the ebbs and flows of life, discovers its sour truths. Parents are as flawed as we are, people we look up to suddenly become unimpressive, love and friendship are not constants. As he slowly turns into an adult, his timidness gives way to reclusiveness, and his conflicting emotions are only intensified, as no one seems to be able to guide him through maturity and explain his own feelings to him. Romance, drama, and slice of life merge in Bokura ga Ita. This manga starts off with the typical innocent girl falls for delinquent boy story, but quickly reveals itself to have much more depth. The story evolves into a painful and tragic tale spanning 10 years where first love gets stained by revelations of troubled past, family secrets, cheating scandals, abusive behaviors, and death. Although packed with drama and tragedy, this manga manages not to fall into excessiveness or cliches as it realistically constructs the themes it portrays. The story follows elementary school students Asumi, Kei, Marika, Fuchuya, and Shu, who all enroll in the elite Tokyo Space Academy in hopes of becoming future astronauts. The topic of dream is omnipresent in the physical and mental trials they must overcome throughout their journey. Optimism and earnestness get mixed with despair and melancholy, as some of them will eventually discard any hopes of reaching their dreams, while others will try to hang on by every single thread they can get their hands on. Twin SPICA is filled with the nostalgic feelings we experience as young adults as our romantic and idealistic aspirations encounter the overly harsh realities of life. Starting as an unidentifiable artifact made by a deity of another time, our protagonist morphs into objects and things he comes into contact with. With time, he slowly gains consciousness by connecting to animals and humans. Through these various connections, he is able to experience a sea of emotion and feelings that he, at first, cannot put into words. The story will follow his literal growth and maturation into different entities as he starts to find himself through the eyes of the people he meets, borrowing their traits and eventually inventing his own. This unique and interesting plot will take you into a whirlwind of emotions and make your heart ache with both compassion and sadness. Despite a sci-fi background, this manga's story is told realistically, mostly focusing on its two protagonists' human characteristics, emotions, and thought. Mikako and Noburo are two teenagers in love, but Mikako gets assigned to go into space and join the army in a fight. The two continue their relationship, but as time progresses, she gets further away from Earth, lengthening the time it takes for their messages to reach one another. This short, sad manga depicts the delicate romance of two separated lovers through melancholic illustrations and words representing the fragility of human emotions, and how, while it's easier on our hearts to end things, sometimes they will not allow us to do it. For some, their 20s are synonymous with endless sunshine and hope. For others, they signify the moment in their lives in which self-doubt and terrorizing uncertainty slams into them. Most of us fall in the middle of this pendulum, experiencing both pain and limitless joy, and Solanin is a depiction of those incessantly pivotal moments. Through the eyes of 23-year-old Meiko Inoue and her boyfriend Noro Taneda, an intimate story will unfold as they both decide to quit their job and embark on a new journey of trials and tribulations. This manga lingers with a feeling of depression and even a bit of anxiety, managing to capture the blues we feel when we are aimless. Kusei Arima was taught how to play the piano by his mother, who would make sure that he would strictly follow the musical notations on his sheet. Practicing daily and feverishly adhering to the notes, Kusei won every competition he entered. One day, his mother suddenly died, and due to the sheer shock and inability to deal with her death, he became tone deaf and gave up on ever performing again. A couple of years later, his best friends introduced him to Kaori Miyazono, a whimsical violinist who plays without the use of a music sheet. As friendship emerged between the two, Kaori slowly taints his black and white life with splashes of colors, urging him to play music again. Despite the heartwarming setting and plot, this manga is also heartbreaking. Expect sweet moments laced with tragedy. If you want to cry so much that you get dehydrated and need to be sent to the hospital for IV fluids, this is one of the most heartwarming, jaw-dropping, tear-inducing, and sad mangas ever created. Here, you'll meet Jin, a forest spirit who helps 6-year-old Hotaru get out of the forest she got lost in. Falling in love with his good nature and delicate words, Hotaru keeps visiting Jin every year during her summer vacations. Soon, they both develop strong affections towards one another, strengthening their bond beyond words. But there's a catch. Hotaru can't touch Jin under any circumstance. Koe no Katashi will bathe you in pain. The story follows Shuya Ishida as he begins to bully a deaf transfer student, Shoko Nishimiya. Initially, events will leave you stunned and at a loss for words, perhaps even with a bad taste in your mouth. The bullying is elevated to a degree to which Shoko must eventually transfer schools. As Shoya grows older, he finds himself consumed by his past, growing into a withdrawn and unassertive young man. Entering high school, he meets Shoko again and embarks on a quest for redemption, determined to confront the trauma he inflicted on her and himself and make amends. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll cry.